Hi everyone, welcome to Downtown Music, Sydney. And what I'd like to share with you today is something I've been teaching some of my students over the last 20 years. And if you grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen, we should be able to learn 48 chords in 3 minutes. Here we've got our hand, 4 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've probably learned how to play an E major chord with these 3 fingers, like that. Now for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to ask you to change that around. That's finger 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm actually going to ask you to start there with the second finger and use your third and fourth to play the chord. So that's what the chord will be looking like. So once again, if we slide it down, that would become a bar chord. But let's go back to the E position for the sake. Okay, for the sake of knowing what position you're playing in, we're going to use the low E string, and I'm going to go through what they call a chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is probably the most important thing for you to learn. That's an open note E, then you've got F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then E again. When you get to the double dots on the 12th fret of your guitar, the guitar will actually repeat itself. So after E, if I keep going, then that becomes F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and so on. That F there, it's the same as that F, just an octave higher. What I've actually come up with is maybe something a little bit that's not traditional, what your normal guitar teacher would teach you. Here we are on the E position. If you slide it up one and bar the first, that becomes an F chord. But that is actually pretty hard to play when you've only been playing for a very short period of time. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to keep going up with this E chord till you get to the 5th fret, where that dot is there. So what that actually is, see the shape of the E chord there? We're actually sticking a finger there across all the 6 strings. Now that is actually A. If you have a look at the chromatic scale on the bottom of your screen, it'll go E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So I'm actually going to call this root position. We're on the 5th position. Every time you play something in the 5th position, you're normally in the A position. So we're going to, if I say to you, go to the root position, this is the shape of chord I'd be expecting you to play. Okay, and it goes like that. So that's actually A major. Moving it back, that would be G sharp. That would be G major. Okay, if we move it up to the 8th position, so let's just, for the sake of the exercise, and the 8th position is there between the 7th and the 9th fret, the 2 dots. Guess what position that is? That's C. Okay, so check that out. Here we go. Here's a C chord that you probably already know how to play. But if you use my method and slide it down, let's go. On the 8th position, we've got a C major chord. Okay, here's the exercise. We're going to run really quickly from here on end. You've just learnt 12 major chords. That's E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. We're going to start on A because it's a little bit easier to press the strings when you're in the middle of the fretboard. So we're going to call this root position. So I'm saying to you now, go to root position, which is that. Beautiful. Lift your second finger. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we are, A. Lift your second finger, just like that. Put it on top of the first to give it a bit more support. Guess what chord that is? That's A minor. So there's your A minor, A minor. Once again, if we just slide that back, that comes from your E minor shape. F minor, F sharp minor, G minor, G sharp minor, A minor. How simple is that? So you've just learned how to play 12 major chords and 12 minor chords just by lifting your finger. Okay, next lot. Go back to root position. All your fingers down. That's the major A position. Lift your 4th finger. There you go. That is A7. Same thing. A sharp 7, B7, C7. How about that? There's your C7 there. There's your C7 there. Okay, so actually we've just learnt 12 dominant 7th chords. Let's just go through those. That would be F7, F sharp 7, G7, G sharp 7, A7, A sharp 7, B7, C7, C sharp 7, D7, D sharp 7, and then start again, E7. Okay, so I haven't confused you. Let's just quickly recap what I've done up till now. There's the root position, what we've called root. That is actually a major chord. When you have all your fingers down in that shape, so that's 12 major chords we've learnt. Just follow the chromatic scale, E, F, F sharp, G, and so on. We lift our second finger, we've just learnt 12 minor chords. Let's go back to root position. Lift your fourth finger, that's 12 dominant seventh chords, G7. So you'd actually see that written on the sheet of music as in G7 or D7. That's a D7th. C7. Now the reason I know that, every time I'm going to a C chord, because if you work off your E string, all the C chords are going to be in the 8th position. All the A chords are going to be in the 5th position. All the G chords I talked to are going to be in the 3rd position. Okay, for the last one of the day, so we've learnt 12 major chords, we've learnt 12 minor chords, we've learnt 12 dominant 7th chords, and now we're going to do 12 minor 7th chords. So for example, go back to root position, put all your fingers down. That's once again A major, that's A minor, that's A7. Okay, so let's lift the 2nd and the 4th finger. So what do you get now? That's A minor 7. Guess what? If we go to the 3rd position, that's G minor 7. That's G sharp minor 7. That's A minor 7. That's A sharp minor 7. There's B minor 7, C minor 7, and so on. So hopefully that's within 3 minutes, but I just do want to recap all this for you so you don't get confused. Have a look at the charts at the bottom of the screen. And once again, we're working off the low E string. So any note that is on that low E string, E, F, F sharp, G, that is going to be the name of the chord once you're in that position. Recapping, 3rd position there is your G chord. So anything that's played on that 3rd dot is usually a G chord of some sort. So if you move your 2nd finger, it becomes a G minor. Put your 2nd finger back, you lift your 4th finger, it becomes a G7. Lift your 2nd finger and your 4th, and it becomes a G minor 7. How cool is that? Now, one last exercise. Just to make sure that you know, I'm going to get you to practice these new chords in the new positions. So the 4 chords I'm going to get you to play is C major, A minor, F major, and then G dominant 7. Now, normally in the 1st position, if you've been playing for a while, you'd probably play that like this. A minor, you'd probably play like that. F, you would probably play like that. And then G7, you would probably play like that. Now, what I want you to do is play it in all the new bar chords that I've just taught you. For example, I've said C, so where would C major be? I'll tell you. On the 8th fret, go to root position, have all your fingers down, there's your C major. 8th position. Next chord I said was A minor. Well, we worked out that in the 5th position is all the A chords, and if you lift your 2nd finger, that's A minor. Going back to a major chord, we put all our fingers down, but because it's in F, there's E. F is the first one. There's your F major. And last one is F, F sharp, G, and we want G dominant 7, so we lift our little finger. So I just want you to do some quick, simple strumming, and that's simple as this. Now, if you want to jazz it up a little bit and put a bit of a rhythm behind it so you can get some these chords sounding more like a song, you could be doing it in like halftime. So or 1 bar per chord, so it'd go. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Carlo from Downtown Music in Sydney, Australia. And I'll be back to show you some more chords in the next few weeks. Have a great time, and thank you once again for watching. See you soon.